Hi everyone, welcome to Rap4 TV. Today we're going to show you how to upgrade your standard T68 mechanical trigger to the brand new, newly released T68 E-trigger. It's a very simple change out with a few tips and do's and don'ts to get the most out of your new E-trigger by Rap4. Enjoy the demo. Okay, to start off with, you should start with your parts list and everything to make sure you've received everything after you've unboxed everything out of the package after getting it in the mail. The first things you're going to want to look for and make sure that you do have is, of course, the E-trigger, which is the brand new E-trigger from Rap4, as well as a power adapter that'll let you recharge the adapter, a rechargeable battery, an extra hammer that will show you how to install, a extra velocity spring that you will or may not need. It's just an extra one for you to have. Two screws, both a front screw and a back screw, and a small Allen wrench. And those are the parts that you should have in your package and be ready to use for the installation of the E-trigger by Rap4. Okay, the next thing to do after you check your package for all the parts, first thing that you want to do is to install the rechargeable battery and recharge for at least 12 to 16 hours, if not overnight, before you install to the T68 to ensure good battery performance. First step in this process is to remove the battery cover, and you just remove the 3 hexagonal screws that are in the trigger handle, and do it as shown with one of the Allen wrenches. After you remove the battery cover, you'll notice that there's a big open area where a battery should fit. It's just an empty area right on top of the electronic board, and all you do is you install the battery to the plus and minus nodes on the wire and put the cover back on, and then plug in the charger and begin to recharge. And for the first time, we recommend it overnight so you have a full charge to ensure good battery performance. We also recommend that while you're recharging the battery that you definitely make sure that the E-trigger is set in the safe mode operation so it will not draw any power. And this is a good tip just in any point of operation when you're not using the E-trigger or the T68. It's always remember to put it in the safe mode so it doesn't draw on the battery. Just an extra tip for optimum battery performance. After you've let the E-trigger recharge overnight for full battery performance, let's begin to install the E-trigger to your current T68. The first step is to remove the old mechanical trigger by removing both the front and back screws on the current T68. After you remove the front and back screws, we recommend that you save them in a plastic bag just as spares. And any spare parts, including the old mechanical trigger, we also recommend saving as a spare in case you might need it for future use. Another tip on the screws is make sure you don't remove the front set screw for the front screw. Again, that needs to be there for replacement of the E-trigger. The next step in the process is to use an Allen wrench to remove the 3 screws in the Flexi-Air adapter. And after you've loosened those 3 set screws, don't take them completely out. It's a lot easier just to keep them in. And once you've loosened them to about a 1/4 inch out side the body, then it's basically just a matter of just wedging the Flexi-Air adapter off the end of the T68 body. The next step after removing the Flexi-Air adapter, they're going to find 2 little bolt covers and a hammer cover that just need to be unscrewed. Now, a little bit of caution when removing the hammer cover because there's a spring behind it. So make sure that you don't let back on the pressure that when you're unscrewing it that will come out. It's a spring loaded, so just be careful. Now, after you remove both the bolt cover and the hammer cover, especially with the hammer cover, you'll notice that it does have a spring and a guide behind it. Just remove and pull out the velocity spring and the guide, and also remove the hammer dampener, which is a small round piece of plastic that's guiding that hammer. And now for the trickiest part that'll probably require you to use both hands. You want to remove the existing hammer from the barrel, and that's done by just sliding it down and replacing it with the E-trigger hammer. And once you have it back onto the bolt pin, let it slide back into the barrel attached to the charging handle, and the spring will allow it to just slide back into the double barrel. And you're done with this process of replacing the hammer with the new E-trigger hammer. At that point, you just reinsert the hammer dampener along with the bolt cover and the hammer cover. Screw those back in, and then you're ready to reinstall the flex air adapter and tighten down the 3 remaining pins to the end of the T68 body. And now the final step is to attach your new E-trigger to the body of the T68. And that's done by just turning the body of the T68 over and use the remaining 2 screws that came with your kit to attach, along with the washers, to the front hole and the back hole of the E-trigger. Once you have installed your 2 screws into the E-trigger into the body of the T68, you are now complete, and you've just installed the new E-trigger. Now is the time to test fire your E-trigger and move it from the safe mode to a single fire mode to make sure you get a clicking sound from the E-trigger. And once you have tested that, please move it back to safe mode to ensure good battery performance and turn the battery off. And at that point, you are ready to go. Let's go out and test fire it. To show you all the different positions that it has on it. The first position is in safe position. That's when you're not drawing anything from the battery. It's full safe position. That means it's fully off. The second position here is in semi mode, moving it just down that switch, and that is going to be a semi-automatic mode. Next position is in 3-shot bursts. By a touch of a single trigger, you're going to be firing 3 shots at a time. And the last position is in full auto. That means one pull of the trigger is going to allow you to shoot in full auto. We're going to insert the magazine. Right now it's in the safe position, so obviously no trigger action. Let's try it in the first position here again, which is in the semi-auto mode. And here we go. Okay. Now we're going to move it into the 3-shot burst mode. And the last position, which is in the full auto mode. You enjoyed the show.